Well, guys, we're here on our first day of the trip, and we need to catch you up on what's gone on. Some of you may have seen from our Instagram that we had a change in vehicle, and unfortunately, we were 6 days before?
Yep.
6 days before the trip, and Jamie was coming home with the kids in the back and going straight through an intersection, and a semi that had been in the oncoming direction made a left turn right into the side of our Wagoneer. It hit her door and then the rear door where our daughter was sitting, and then spun the car around. They ended up over the curb in the grass, or over on top of a street sign, and all the airbags had deployed on that side of the vehicle, and they were all completely fine, which was probably a little bit of divine protection. There was so many factors where it could have been slightly worse if this one thing had been slightly different, if they had hit slightly different. There was a telephone pole they almost spun into, but they just missed. There was just a lot of really close potentials for injury, and everyone was fine. You were a little sore.
Yeah, but I didn't even bruise from the seatbelt or anything. Lily had a few scratches from the glass that had broken from the window.
Yeah.
But those were the only physical things that we had at all.
Yeah. So we're so thankful to God for His protection in that situation, and that all the family members were safe. Unfortunately, the Wagoneer was totaled, and we'll show you the damage, but it was pretty obvious it wasn't going to drive again. The rear axle on the driver's side, well, the suspension, I should say, was broken. And then, of course, extensive body damage. So that's 6 days, and we're about to leave. And boy, the emotions that went into that, we were just devastated because we had no idea what was going to happen or how we were going to even go on this trip at the time. And talk about poor timing. We've been planning this adventure for years. We even put it off an extra year to make sure we were fully ready for it, and getting everything lined up with our lives. So to suddenly be thrown into that uncertainty was pretty devastating, I would say. And we spent all day on Tuesday trying to figure out what to do, running all the different scenarios, working through how to make things work financially, what kind of vehicle to look for again. And we wanted to make sure we were going to come out of this with, minimal financial damage, if you will. But I think pretty early on you were set on another Wagoneer.
Yeah, after seeing the photos of the car, because in the moment I wasn't really aware of what was going on, but seeing the protection and how we all walked away.
Yeah. Well, you didn't really see it at the time because you couldn't get out that side of the car. Mm-mm. So you had to climb out the passenger side, which was the undamaged side.
Yeah. Yeah. So after that, there wasn't really any doubt in my mind that we would get another one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my doubts were only financial at that point. But we were able to rearrange some things and figure out how to work it out.
And the insurance was working very quickly for us as well.
Yeah, honestly, we just told, once not the 800 number, but once the actual insurance agent called, Sorry about the noise. There's playground behind you right now. But this is camping in the eastern half of the U.S. Anyway, so once the actual insurance agent called, it was just very open about what was going on and what our timeline was. And they were willing to work with us. I had to go the same day as the accident to the salvage yard and strip everything out of the vehicle and release it for the insurance to come pick it up. And they picked it up and flatbedded it 2 hours away to their station where they would inspect it. And that happened the following day. I didn't hear about it immediately, but we were so confident at that point that it was going to be a total loss that we knew we had to get something else. Mm-hmm. And we knew we had to get something else anyway. Even if they decided to fix it, there was no way we were going to be able to be on the road in that car within a week.
Oh gosh, no.
So we went, so Monday was a crash, Tuesday was planning, Wednesday, well, planning and working with the insurance. Wednesday we went to go look at and ultimately buy a replacement.
The blue Wagoneer, yep.
Yeah. And so we got another Wagoneer, as close as possible to the features that the first one had, because it's just been so perfect for our family for the past couple of years that we were driving around in that. And then, that was about 2.5 hours each way,
yeah,
to get that one.
And if you can picture 2 days after being in the accident, I was a little stressed to be in the car that long. And then because we were not trading in
our other
vehicle,
yeah.
I also had to drive back myself.
Yeah.
But I think that was really good because it really made me push through a lot of the anxiety and emotions that I was feeling about driving again, because we're doing a lot of that the next 3 months, so I kind of needed to get over that. So I felt like that really was another hidden blessing from God, even though I wasn't really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
For me to be able to work through and be good now.
Yeah, definitely. So then that was Wednesday. We did that, picked that up, came back. In the meantime, one of the things that we knew we needed to be different about the new one was it was coming on 22-inch rims with low-profile tires. And when you see where we're going, that's probably not going to work out. But it was amazing. I was able to work with a business in a nearby town, a couple hours away, and they were able to ship us a set of 18-inch wheels. And I was sitting at the dealer, I think we had signed at that point, and we're waiting for them to finish prepping the vehicle so we could go home. And I was on my phone ordering a set of all-terrain tires with the hope that they would be to an installer by Saturday. And they actually ended up coming in early. But anyway, sorry guys, picking back up where we were. We're getting a lot of attention for our camping setup here. It's pretty unusual, I think, at least in the eastern part of the United States, to be camping in a teardrop like this.
Yeah.
But so let's see. So Wednesday, after we bought the car and had ordered tires and wheels, I finally found out for sure that the old one was totaled by the insurance. And then so Thursday, we got the wheels delivered, and then I got a call from the insurance saying that they would give me the check if we could bring them the title for the value of the car, which was great, that it was all happening so fast. But unfortunately, their closest office was an hour and a half away in another town. So I had to drive another hour and a half to the office. It was funny because I walked in there. I got there like just before they were going to close anyway, I think. And then the lady came in and like had me sign the title in front of her. She was notary, and then handed me the check. And that was it. It was, I mean, maybe 5 or 10 minutes that I was there, and then drive another hour and a half home. And then the tires, in the meantime, Thursday afternoon, I got notification that they had arrived at the installer, which was really quick as well. So I moved my appointment from Saturday to Friday so I could just get everything out of the way. And so that installer, though, again, to get them in time, it was 2 hours away from where we live as well. So in another direction. So 2 hours when I got tires and wheels put on, and then 2 hours home. And then finally done with, and then I had to stop on the way home and get a new toll pass because I'd forgotten to take it out of the old one. And then Saturday, tried to get the deposit done at our bank of the insurance check before leaving on Sunday to be on the road, which was yesterday. But unfortunately on Saturday, our town had been flooding. We live on rivers, and they were at flood stage Friday and into Saturday. And so of the 3 people that were supposed to be working at the bank on Saturday, one of them couldn't, the one that had the keys couldn't arrive because of the flooding. They couldn't get into town from their house. So the bank wasn't even open. So we ended up having to do like a night deposit drop for that. But then we were done, and the whole process had completed.
Yes, basically in 5.5 days.
5.5 days. We went from, kind of devastated, total loss of the vehicle, nothing that we could even take the trip in, to ready to go, and mostly recovered financially. And so it was amazing to us to see everything fall into place. And as we were going through that week, it just felt like every time we were trying to accomplish something, it worked out, and sometimes even better than we hoped.
Yeah.
And so once again, I feel like we really saw the hand of God in that, and that He was just guiding everything for us, and helping us. And so by His grace, we're on the road.
Yeah, I wanted to add, it really very easily could have led us down the road of despair, because who gets a car totaled by a semi and then is on the road a week later? But it was impossible to ignore the signs. But I said to Josh too, because our red Wagoneer had some weird noises happening that we could never figure out, and so we were basically just accepting them as normal and moving on. And I said that I wondered whether it wasn't God's way of protecting us even more from what could happen out west as we travel, that He knew that car was not going to make it, and so He was helping us to avoid future heartache and trouble too.
Yeah, could be. We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm sure. So it's been said that it's not an adventure until something goes wrong. So I think we're having an adventure, because terrible things have gone wrong before it's even started. But it's so wonderful to still be able to move forward with this.
Yep, definitely.